Mano Choja. Sounds like a name. It was in the middle of the 8th century. When would that be? Well, the 1st century started from 0 to 100. So that was 1st century. So the 2nd century was from 100 to 200. So if you carry on, that means that the 8th century would be the 700s up to 800. So in the 700s, when the country was prospering in the reign of the able Emperor Koken, and when the statue of the great Buddha was erected in Nara. Nara was the ancient capital. That was even before Kyoto. It was an ancient capital. Then that was the capital of the country. That's where this story begins. There was a beautiful princess called Tamatsu Hime living in the capital. She was fortunate in every respect, having been able to get everything she had ever wanted. There was nothing in this world that she could not get. And yet, when she came of age, she was suddenly taken ill. And before long, blue-black spots of various sizes, like birthmarks, began to appear all over her body. In time, half of her face was covered with these ugly marks, and she could not go out of the house. Although she spent most of her time in the house, one day she decided to visit the nearby Nima Myojin shrine to pray. Oh, my merciful God, please help me to take away these blotches and make me happy again. If you cannot take away these blotches, please advise me how I must live from now on. She kept on praying at the shrine every day, hoping to get a favorable answer someday. And after many weeks, one day she finally heard the God's benevolent words. Your prayers have been answered. There is only one way to heal your ailment. There is a young man named Kogoro living deep in the mountains of the faraway province of Bungo, present Oita Prefecture. He's making charcoal. He is honest and sympathetic. So if you become his wife, in time your markings will disappear, and you will enjoy happiness and wealth the rest of your life. Tamatsu Hime felt thrilled and thanked the god most reverently, and although she felt very uncertain about finding her way to such a faraway land beyond the sea, she resolved to venture on a quest all alone. Resolved. She decided to go on the trip all by herself. After many weeks of dangerous voyage across the inland sea, Tamatsu Hime finally came to the strange province of Bungo. Here's our map of Japan again, so we're going to look for where Nara was, and also for Oita Prefecture, and see if there's a town Mie on the map. But remember, this story is talking about from 700 something AD, so that's more than 1,250 years ago, so that's a long time ago. Here's Kyoto. So the ancient capital of Nara is down here. It says that there's a historic monument of the ancient capital. So, so she would have had, the princess would have had to go from Nara to Osaka to get on a ship, and then here is Oita Prefecture nowadays. So here's the border that's coming around and up through here. and down through here and around out to the coast here. So she would have had to come all the way across here, probably up through here by boat, and then down and through there, and then probably through here. And then I'm not sure, there's an area called the Inland Sea. It may be this area because it's so big and wide, but that may be called the Inland Sea up in here. And so the boat would have come down and probably to this area here, Oita. And so I've looked here and I have not found a city called Mie. But remembering it's 1,250 years ago or more or less, the names may have changed. So she had to go a long, long way in her journey to find this charcoal maker. Thereafter, she started for the deep mountains, which lay beyond the village of Mie, as told by the oracle in Nara. When she reached the Mie, the people told her that Kogoro lived in the mountains and that it would take a woman like her 2 days to reach him. "What a place I have come to," she wept sorrowfully. "But I cannot go back now," so she gathered all her strength and finally reached Kogoro's makeshift hut, almost exhausted. "My dear man," Tamatsu Hime, upon seeing the charcoal man, told him all that had happened to her in the past and humbly asked him to take her in. Kogoro was completely taken by surprise to see a woman asking for mercy and entreating him so fervidly to take her as his wife. Entreating is a way of saying, of asking. So she's asking fervidly. Fervidly means to be very honest and pleading in her question, in her request. At first he thought she was a ghost trying to lure him in the guise of a woman, because all he could see of her were her sparkling eyes, as she hid most of her face with the sleeve of her kimono. He became afraid of the strange woman and finally said, "Whatever the Myojin god of the capital told you, nobody here ever said anything of you to me. Why must I take you as my wife?" "My dear man, it is the divine oracle of the god in Nara, and I must stay here with you. Please have mercy on me and let me serve you as your servant." "I will do anything for you," the woman said, and began to weep. Kogoro was puzzled. He did not know what to do, but finally decided to trust everything to fate and accept her, because he did not have the heart to chase her away. In this way, Kogoro was forced to walk into a new life with a strange woman with birthmark-like splotches all over her body. Tamatsu Hime, on the other hand, had to adjust herself to her new surroundings, which were more miserable than she had expected. Kogoro's hut was small and dirty, and there was almost nothing in it, so the first thing she thought was to buy things for their new life. "My dear man, here are 2 gold coins. If you will go to the village, you can buy lots of things. We need some rice to start with, and then a cooking pot, a blanket, vegetables, and rice bowls. And you can buy whatever other necessities you think are needed." Tamatsu Hime said to Kogoro and sent him to the village below. Kogoro had never seen a gold coin before. He did not know how valuable it was. While he was walking toward the village, he came upon a pond. There were 2 mandarin ducks swimming there. If I catch them, I can have a big party with the woman, he thought, and stealthily approached the ducks. When he came very near, he threw one of the gold coins like a stone at the ducks, but it missed them. So he threw the other after him, but the ducks flew away and escaped. Kogoro returned to his hut totally crestfallen. Sad. It was very sad. And when he related the incident with the mandarin ducks to Tamatsu Hime, she told him about gold and its value. If what you say is right, there are plenty of gold stones in the upper reaches of the valley not far away from here, Kogoro told her. The following morning they went into the valley and found a whole trove of golden stones. There was a small pond nearby bubbling with hot water. When Tamatsu Hime stuck her hand into the hot spring to pick up a gold stone, she saw the birthmark spots on her hand fade away. Thus, all her marks were washed away by the hot spring water, and Kogoro became the richest man in the province of Bungo, with the beautiful Tamatsu Hime as his wife. And because of his vast riches, he came to be known as Mano Choja. This all happened more than 1,000 years ago.